Now, this is a special message for my family and friends in Scotland, and I really hope you watch it.
Gemmell. Good play by Gemmell, and again. 3-1! A brilliant individual goal by this hard little professional has put Scotland in dreamland. The miracle is beginning to happen. They need one more to qualify.
Slow out there, hardly surprising. What a chance now. Jordan, can he make it 1-0 for Scotland? He can. Joe Jordan's done it again. Scotland might again go out of the World Cup on goal difference. Oh, what a terrible mix-up that was between Miller and Hampson. Shengelia can bury Scotland. Oh, that's it. It's all over. Scotland's World Cup dream has evaporated. That's full time on the watch. That's it. Scotland are out of the World Cup. A brave effort. It's Russia 2, Scotland 2. So Scotland once again go out on goal difference. And you see exactly how Scotland fail to reach the second round.
Now, you may wonder why I've started a video appealing to my family and friends to vote yes instead of no with Scotland's glorious failures of the past. And that's because I want to avoid a glorious failure again. So we just need one of you to change your vote from yes to no, and if everyone else that's voting yes can persuade one person to vote yes instead of no, then we'll win. Now, we'll start with a wee analysis of the debate with Alistair Darling and Alex Salmond midweek, and I think we'll all agree that the no campaign have been a little bit negative.
Remember this, if we decide to leave, there is no going back, there's no second chance. I don't want to see new barriers, new borders, new boundaries where none exist. In Scotland, we have a population that is ageing more quickly than it is in the rest of the United Kingdom. With independence, it would fall on our country alone, a country that is very dependent on North Sea oil, and that North Sea oil revenue is declining. It's notoriously volatile.
Now, I don't know why the no campaign seem to think that oil's a bad thing, but that's what they seem to have turned into in this debate. Ooh, we've got oil, it's terrible, it's going to run out. Anyway, but they're promising us lots of new powers in the Scottish Parliament. Now let's see what Alistair's got to offer us there.
Give me two powers that will definitely accrue.
Both tax and increased power over
Which
housing
tax?
benefit with income tax.
All of it?
Income tax, the power
All of
to there's two things happening. There is power already coming, where you've got power on income tax, and on top of that, they will have additional power to vary the rate of income tax. So yes, they are, and we don't take on a whole bunch of risks that we don't need to take on.
I see he managed to shove the risk word in there yet again. Well done, Alistair. Another risk. That sounds pretty convincing to me. I feel very happy with that definition, and considering he's in the Labour Party and not in the Conservative Party, I wonder if that will actually be followed through on. Never mind. But Alistair had lots of other negatives to throw at us. Let's listen and see what he has to say.
Yes, but the tenants, we sell 70% of what we do to England, they sell 10% to us. But you don't have a central bank. The Bank of England, which would then be in a foreign country, would be setting our interest rates.
But is that not what's happening just now, Alistair? The Bank of England set our interest rates. What's the difference?
The Institute of Fiscal Studies has said that we have a £6 billion black hole over and above anything that austerity imposes.
Suddenly £6 billion is the end of the world. Now, considering how much this guy increased our deficit by, and it's now over £1 trillion, £6 billion seems a pretty small amount of money to me.
My question to you is this: why on earth take on those risks?
Oops, another risk.
If we vote to leave the UK in 6 weeks' time, there's massive uncertainties, not just in relation to that, which you'll never agree in 18 months.
Is it just me, or does Alistair spend a lot of time on risk? I haven't heard a positive yet from him. Anyway, let's go to my favourite part of the debate, Alistair's views on the small country.
Do you agree that Scotland could be a successful independent country?
Look, all countries do then have to, they have to make sure they live within their means. They sometimes have to have difficult decisions they're going to take. My argument about the budget, small countries do have to make sure that they balance the books. The weekend is they tend to have higher prices in the shops than we do. When you look at the pressures we face on our public spending, I think the risks of independence are frankly not worth taking. I've never argued that a country can't go it alone. What I'm saying is, why should we take those risks? Why all countries can go it alone, provided they take the risks, they accept the costs, and they accept some of the difficulties that come with that. I say, if Scotland had been independent at the time, it would have been exactly the same position as Ireland and Iceland. Remember the Ark of Prosperity? Both of those countries are bust now because they couldn't deal with the banking.
You managed to throw in a few more risks there, Alistair. Well done. Now, I'd like to apologise to anyone watching from Ireland and Iceland, where in fact they are not bust, as we all know. And in fact, Alistair's mates, the bankers, are all in jail in Iceland. Well done, Iceland. I think we'd all applaud you for that. Now, let's go on and muddy the waters with some facts, Alistair.
GDP table by country. No surprise that Luxembourg are number 1, Norway with its oil number 2. We have bankrupt Ireland at number 7. We have Denmark at number 9, Finland at number 13, Iceland at number 14, before finally the poor United Kingdom trailing at number 16.
And those are the facts, folk. And it kind of backs up what I've always thought about this independence debate, is that people spend way too much time debating whether we're going to be marginally better off or marginally worse off if Scotland's independent. It's nothing to do with that. It's about being able to make our own decisions about our own future and how we prioritise the money that we spend. Like, we're not going to spend it on nuclear weapons. We're not going to go to war with Iraq and Afghanistan and all these countries. Anyway, just to almost finish up, let's have a little bit more negative from Alistair, will we?
One of the things you'll be asking the rest of the UK to do is to underwrite a Scottish banking system that is 12 times the size of Scotland's wealth. In Cyprus, it was only 8 times as large.
Now one specifically for Julie and Craig, and they've been convinced somehow that after 2 years of working, their pensions are at risk with an independent Scotland. You might be surprised to hear this.
The state pension, unlike private pensions, there isn't a fund there. It's paid for by today's taxpayers. So, in other words, it's paid for by today's workers. We have an additional problem in Scotland, that our working age population, who have to work to pay their taxes to pay these pensions, that is falling more rapidly than it is in the rest of the UK. It does come as a surprise to a lot of people to realise, although they pay the national insurance contributions, there has never, since national insurance was set up, ever been a fund like a pension company's fund out of which you get your pension. The pension that you will draw when you retire will be paid for by the people who are working at that time, the working age population.
I think what he's trying to tell us, folks, is that none of us are going to get our pension, whether we're independent or not.
In just 6 weeks' time, we will make the biggest single decision that most of us ever made in our lifetime. And it's important that we get it right, because if we vote to leave, there is no going back. I don't want to see our children's future gambled away.
Now, I'm sure I haven't persuaded you all to vote yes yet. And I can promise you that on the 19th, we'll all still be friends, no matter what the result. But I would rather be at the yes party than the wake that is going to be the no party should it go that way. Now, I'm pulling out the big one for the final point I'm going to make, and I'll leave it to the Hampden crowd. So to all you naysayers out there, please, please, please vote yes. Don't let it be another glorious failure. And allow us still to sing that stood against him, proud Edward's army, and sent him homeward to think again. Bye.